Breaking news, Biz Markie, the legendary rapper and artist, he has passed away. Over the last few years, he has suffered significantly with health issues. He'd been hospitalized since last year. It was 3 weeks ago when reports came out that were absolutely wrong. Revolt TV posted that he had died. He actually had not passed away. I had talked to his wife that night to refute those, but just a few moments ago, while during the middle of that conversation, I sent a text message at 7:58 to his wife, and I text, folks are telling me Brother Biz has passed. I'm live on the air and can't call, just checking on his status. And her reply at 8:09 was simply, he's gone. And so Biz Markie has passed away. Dr. Nyambe Carter, earlier in the show, I did not want to overlook this, Doc. You also had mentioned earlier in the show that the civil rights pioneer, Gloria Richardson, passed away at the age of 99.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, what she did for Maryland, this country, I mean, it's just, it doesn't, her name doesn't necessarily come to most people's mind, but I mean, she's an icon. I mean, she looked Jim Crow, terrorism, white supremacists in the face and literally pushed their guns out of her face. So Gloria Richardson, I mean, is an icon. And also Biz Markie. I think Biz Markie, when I think of him, I just think of joy, just unfettered joy. He was a great rapper. He was a great DJ. He brought us fun songs at a time when things were really serious. I mean, he was just, I mean, invaluable to so many of us and to so many communities. So my condolences to his family at this time, because I'm sure it is already difficult to mourn the loss of such a great person. But when people were speculating about his death, given his health challenges, I'm sure it was particularly difficult. So my condolences to them, and my condolences also to the Richardson family, and really to many of us who lost someone who was just an amazing person.
We talk about we talk a lot about folks who are artists, and we talk about losing somebody so young. And Michael Imhotep, Biz Markie was 57 years old.
Right. Right. You know, I remember when Biz Markie, came out, I was in high school. You said he's just a friend, and the Vapors and things like that. And then he was a DJ as well. And we've lost a number of hip hop artists and people from that era, the 80s, the 90s, Shabba-Doo, Biz Markie, the brother from Houdini. We've seen this DMX. And these are people under 60, many of them under 60 years old, we see passing away. So, I remember a few weeks ago when the rumors came out and they were false, and I heard he was in a hospice, and I was like, wow, how did this happen? I know he had health challenges, but he's in the hospice, so that told me that unfortunately the end is probably near if he's in the hospice. So this is still very sad news as well. And then it also deals with why our health is so important. I just turned 50 last month, and why our health is so important, especially as African American men also. But this is a big loss as well. I'm looking at I'm reading the story here from TMZ. So yeah, this is a big loss also.
Faraji Muhammad.
As well as Gloria Richardson, Associated Press has reported that an hour ago, then with Gloria Richardson passing away, 99 years old.
Faraji Muhammad, he had suffered from diabetes. He had lost a lot of weight, yet was still having those issues, and he was trying to be, speaking to others, talking about the impact of taking care of themselves. When he got hospitalized last year, there were, of course, a lot of stories out there, same thing, but he just never could really come back from those serious health challenges.
No, absolutely. And, correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Roland, but the report says that he died in a hospital here in Baltimore.
Yeah, well, even last year, when he was hospitalized last year, so he's been in a Baltimore hospital in Baltimore for all of this time. So it's been more than a year. Because last year when he got hospitalized, it was during COVID. I remember I had called Dougie Fresh, and he and I were talking about Biz Markie and his health challenges. And so he had been in the Baltimore hospital for more than a year.
Wow. I'm just going to add to what Brother Michael and Dr. Nyambi said. I mean, this is the big blow to hip hop. I listened to Biz Markie when I was a child as well. Just a Friend was kind of like, just like a banner. It was like an anthem. His what he brought to hip hop would kind of reminded me of what like ODB brought to hip hop. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like this very. I mean, I might be wrong in my comparison, but I'm just saying that he brought like Dr. Nyambi said, a lot of joy. He let us know he loved the music. He DJ'd, he produced, he acted. I mean, he was just a very colorful guy, just a great brother, you could tell. But I think that the bigger part about it is we're finding, and especially last year in 2020, we found that a lot of hip hop artists in particular were, had gone, and some would say gone too soon because of the lifestyle and not taking care of themselves. And as Black men, one of the big things we did here in Baltimore, I was invited to be a part of a Father's Day, early morning run and walk. And it was emphasized to us as Black men here in Baltimore that you got to take care of yourself. You got to go to the doctors. You got to check your colon and your prostate. And you got to do these things not just for yourself, but because families are dependent upon us to take care of ourselves. So I think that as we want to, commemorate and celebrate the life, the legacy, the impact of Brother Biz Markie, we also have to start to really say, what am I doing for myself? I mean, type 2 diabetes is nothing to be playing with. And as you said, Brother Roland, he was going in and out of the hospital. He's been staying in the hospital. But we can't allow a certain type of profession to dictate our lifestyle and really take care of ourselves, especially as we get older. I'm learning that as a young brother growing and maturing. This thing is serious. Our health and wellness, all of the fame and the accolades, the money and any type of status and impact that we make, it's all well and good, but if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Well,
so
and we also have got to also realize, look at it with Black Rob, the lack of health care, the lack of health care. And so we have to realize also when we talk about these artists, what they don't have, especially artists who had hits back in the day, who all of a sudden now, as they get on, they're not on labels, and so the lack of health care, which contributes to also not being able to have yourself checked out. And so it's a whole lot around the music industry. And again, we as fans, Nyambe, we love the music, but we don't think about the life they're living after the crowd dies down, just like former athletes.
Exactly. And I think what Faraji talked about, too, was just, this sort of grind culture that we're in that tells Black men and Black women, work yourself, to the bone, work, but ignore all of these other things like rest, like regular medical checkups, like all of these other things that we know contribute to a long life. And I'm not certain what Biz Markie's health status was, but certainly type 2 diabetes is not uncommon in our community, but it's also something that can be managed with, a lot of different tools. And unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to, I think, many of our friends, right? We felt like he was our friend, like we knew him because of something, that is a chronic disease that many of us in our families or personally are fighting and dealing with. And it's not just, diabetes in this case, it's also high blood pressure, prostate cancer, all of these different things that are attacking our communities and attacking them in a more deadly fashion than other facets of our society. And I think this is a wake-up call to many of us that this is the time to start thinking about your health and start taking care of ourselves. Because oftentimes when we get to it, it may be, in fact, too late.
Well, I'll say this here. He was certainly an amazing rapper, and anybody who went to a party where Biz Markie was DJing, you also knew it was not going to be a party where the DJ talked all damn night on the microphone. He understood how to read the room, how to play the hits that people would love and appreciate. And so that was one of the things that I always appreciated about Biz Markie. In fact, I'm literally sitting here going through 8 years of Essence Fest photos, looking for a photo that we took at one of the parties, but that he was DJing, and that was just his thing. And so it was always great to see him. It was always great to see his smile. We had great respect for one another. He was a huge fan of mine, and vice versa. And so we lost Biz Markie, dead at the age of 57.